The razor-sharp 4-inch claw of the Southern Cassowary slices through the humid air, missing a monitor lizard skull by a fraction of an inch. Here, in the emerald shadows of the Daintree Rainforest, the ground doesn't just hold life, it vibrates with the threat of death. Xena, a 6-foot-tall matriarch with feathers as black as obsidian and a casque atop her head like a prehistoric crown, stands over her 3 striped chicks. Her neck, a vivid gradient of electric blue and blood red, pulses with every breath. The air is thick, smelling of rotting fruit and wet earth, a sensory overload that keeps Xena's golden eyes darting. She is not just a bird. She is a living relic of a dinosaur age, and today, the rainforest is testing her soul. The morning light struggles to pierce the dense canopy, casting long, skeletal shadows across the mossy floor. The humidity is a physical weight, sticking feathers to skin and making every movement feel like it's happening underwater. Xena moves with deceptive, liquid grace. Her feet, massive and scaled like a dragon's, press into the soft mud, leaving prints that tell a story of power. She stops to nudge a fallen quandong fruit toward her smallest chick, Pip. The fruit is bright blue, a splash of color against the brown decay. Pip chirps, a high-pitched sound that vibrates with innocence, unaware that 20 feet away, a scrub python is coiled like a spring in the ferns. The heat intensifies as the sun climbs, bringing a chorus of cicadas that drowns out the rustle of the leaves. Xena's internal compass is set on the river, but the path is treacherous. She senses a shift in the wind, a scent of musk and old scales. Suddenly, the python strikes, a blur of brown and gold aiming for Pip. Xena doesn't scream. She booms. A low-frequency vibration rolls out her chest. A sound so deep it's felt in the bones of every creature nearby. With a vertical leap that defies her 130-pound frame, she brings her inner claw down. It's a surgical, brutal defense. The snake recoils, slashed, slithering into the dark. Xena doesn't pursue. Her heart hammers against her ribs, a frantic rhythm of maternal terror and adrenaline. She gathers her chicks under her wings, her feathers bristling like a shield of armor. Survival is not a sprint. It is a grueling daily negotiation with the elements. As the wet season begins to breathe down the neck of the forest, the sky turns a bruised purple. The first drops of rain are heavy, drumming against Xena's hard, bony casque. This helmet is her multi-tool. It protects her head as she pushes through dense vines and, as some believe, helps her sense the low-frequency calls of others. She guides her brood through a labyrinth of giant ferns and strangler figs. The chicks are tired, their legs shaking. Xena slows her pace, her large, amber eyes showing a rare softness as she preens the damp down on Pip's back. She feels the exhaustion in her own muscles, the constant vigilance wearing her down. Yet she stands tall, a silent sentinel against the encroaching dark. They reach the edge of a swollen creek, the water churning with the runoff of the highlands. Across the bank, a grove of fruiting trees promises a week of easy meals. But the water hides the forest's greatest predator. As the chicks begin to wade into the shallows, a ripple moves against the current. A saltwater crocodile, a 5-meter titan of teeth and prehistoric malice, rises from the silt. Xena's reaction is instantaneous. She thrusts herself between the water's edge and her young, her body tensing into a weapon. She doesn't flee. She stares into the cold, slit pupils of the crocodile. The standoff is a clash of titans. Xena spreads her small, hair-like wings, making herself look twice her size. She lets out a hiss that sounds like steam escaping a pipe. When the crocodile lunges, Xena delivers a kick so powerful it could shatter a human's ribcage. Her claw strikes the croc's sensitive snout. The reptile, surprised by the ferocity of this feathered fury, thrashes and retreats into the murky depths. Xena quickly nudges her chicks back into brush, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She is trembling, not from cold, but from the sheer weight of the responsibility she carries. Weeks pass, and the bond between the mother and her survivors deepens. One afternoon, near a clearing, they encounter a young, orphaned wallaby, his leg caught in a tangle of thorny vines. To most predators, this is an easy meal. Xena approaches, her head tilted, curiosity overriding her defensive instincts. She watches as the wallaby struggles, its eyes wide with the same fear she sees in her chicks during a storm. In an act of strange, interspecies empathy, Xena uses her powerful beak to tug at the main vine, snapping it. She doesn't stay for thanks. She simply moves on, her chicks following in a neat line. It is a moment of quiet grace in a world built on teeth and claws. As the season shifts and the chicks begin to lose their stripes, transitioning into the dull browns of adolescence, Xena's job nears its end. She has taught them how to find the hidden springs, which fruits are sweet and which are poison, and how to listen to the silence of the forest. One final test arrives. A rogue dingo, lean and hungry, corners Pip near a cliff edge. Xena is 50 yards away. She charges, a black blur of feathers and fury, covering the ground with terrifying speed. She doesn't just drive the dingo away. She hunts it until it vanishes into the highlands. When she returns, she finds Pip waiting, safe. The chick leans its head against Xena's blue neck, a gesture of profound gratitude. Xena closes her eyes for a single second, the warrior mother finally finding a moment of peace in the heart of the wild.